to really classify all the tweets that people are sending. Are they positive, neutral, or negative? And if they see on an aggregate there are much more positive comments, then there is a more high likelihood that the stock will go up, because there is a fundamentally people are liking the company and that's why they're tweeting about it. And same way, if they see the people are talking negatively about a particular stock, most likely, this is known as in financial, so anybody from financial industry here understands? Yeah, so this is fundamental analysis, right? This is not technical analysis. It's purely based upon the information that is available in the market. So this is the information that is easily available in the market, and they use to analyze it. How accurate it was, it's anybody's guess. Like any other research, it had both the sides of it, but that was one of the applications. So by itself, this may not be a very good indicator, but if you have technical analysis and fundamental analysis, then it can become a very powerful tool. Technical analysis like performance of the company, what are the pipeline of customers, how long has the company been there, what is the government regulation, and things along those lines. Alpha and beta and all those rates. I'll not go into that. So if both the things are combined together, then it becomes very powerful. By itself, not so much. Let's talk about velocity.
So was it the result of the study that was done by the Ivy League that fundamental analysis only has a partial impact, and that combined with technical analysis and fundamental analysis, they have a greater impact in predicting? Was this the result of the Ivy League study?
No. So actually, if you are, as per finance, so I studied MBA in finance, so I can talk intelligently to some extent about it. So basically, the idea is whenever you do stock investment and portfolio analysis, there are two kind of trades: technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And most of the hedge funds, etc., they focus on technical analysis, like high frequency trading, and they go through all the, in the last 10 years, how the stock has performed and things along those lines. So that's purely technical. They have all the machine learning scientists and PhDs of statistics and quant. They keep working with this. However, as you have seen in 2008, all those smart people couldn't predict that stock market will crash, and everybody lost, like many people lost their job, including most of these companies also went down. That was the reason, because, so I'll come to that as well. Math can only determine something that has happened in the past. It cannot tell you something that has never happened in the past. So a model is nothing but an equation, a nonlinear equation. Let's say x squared plus y squared is equal to z squared, right? If you bring in some new parameter, let's say k or r, which has never been seen earlier, you are never going to predict whether it will be z squared or it will be some z squared multiplied by x, y, z or something like that. So that's the problem of only focusing on technical analysis. Fundamental analysis is very, very hard to bake in, because fundamental analysis, like the owner of the company dies, or there is a lawsuit happens on one company. So even though the financials, etc., of the company are very good, but these things can also have impact on the perception of people, how well the company will perform. So this is not the researchers that came out with. This is my saying that if you combine technical analysis and fundamental analysis, then there is a much higher likelihood of coming out with an accurate result. The study that was conducted for only with the fundamental analysis, they saw a variation of like whatever results they were getting, this was within the error range of 5%. So you cannot say one way or the other that did they actually predict well or they didn't predict well. In some cases they were giving correct results, in other cases they were not. So the range was very, very small.
I see. Okay.
Just using it as an illustration, not very powerful study, but that was used. So on the velocity side, now what is happening is that the rate at which data is being generated has increased manifold. And by the rate I mean to say is like how many times, like you talk about the CERN reactor in Europe, it is throwing particles, and all this is generating tremendous amount of data, like a nuclear fission reaction, generating huge amount of data at a very, very fast rate. So do you have systems and devices to capture the data at a very fast rate and then analyze it? So that is also something that has changed right now. Earlier days we didn't have so many devices that were pumping in data so quickly. Nowadays we have those devices that are generating data so fast. On the variety side, I would like to point out is, like I said, you have structured data like your traditional RDBMSs, all the transaction data you store in Oracle and MySQL databases. Then you have semi-structured data. Then you have unstructured data, all this free text data on social media networks, your log data on your like computer systems, app server log and database server logs and things like that. These are all free structured data. They have no schema or structure for them. They are just all over the place. So in traditional systems, if you have to analyze this kind of data, you would have to manually analyze it or write complex parsers to really make sense of what this data is all about. With big data systems, that has become a need that you will be working with structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data, no structured data, and you have to work with it because now you want to analyze Facebook tweets, you want to analyze SQL databases, you want to analyze NoSQL databases, you want to analyze all the information that is available for which you may know the prior structure, you may not know the prior structure, but you still want to analyze that. And that's why the variety question comes into play. So you have social media free structured data, you have semi-structured data, you have flat file data, you have log data, all these different kind of data that you want to still analyze. That's a variety. And the value question is, given that this velocity, volume, and variety, how do you make sense of it? Can you derive value from it? And that's the big question, like even after implementing all those things, how is it impacting my business? Am I deriving value from it or not? That's the big questions organizations are trying to answer using big data. So this was a study by McKinsey. I just copied from their slides. So they're saying, so this is a big torrent. As you can do, there are 30 billion pieces of content shared on Facebook every month. 15 out of 17 sectors in the United States have more data stored per company than US Library of Congress. I guess US Library of Congress is very big. That's why they're showing it here. Then you have capturing its value, like $300 billion of potential annual value for US healthcare, 250 billion euro potential annual GDP of Greece. Like these are different like data points you should see, like how the, yeah, go ahead. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. So why big data is important? So there are multiple factors in which big data has its applications, as you can see. This is a graph shown based upon the value and the index of big data. And as you can see towards my, I don't have a pointer, but if you see the information circle that you see, it is on the right hand top corner. It has the biggest data value potential index, and also it is higher on the productivity side. So all information related companies that are focusing on that are driving the maximum value of big data. It's not